Hey, these are the 5 things I wish I knew before my autistic son turned 18, because nobody's going to prepare you for that moment. My name's Ben Blackman. My son Evan Blackman is an autistic adult, and this is the After Us Project. Let's get into it. All right, welcome everybody to the After Us Project. I'm excited that you decided to take a look and see what we're talking about today. So, ooh, man. Now, I realize a lot of you all probably have your kids are over 18. Mine's 19 now, as of the recording of this video. But I just wish there were some things that I knew. So some of this stuff would probably still help you, but moving forward. But if you have a kid and they're not 18 yet, and they're it's going to be not too long, then you're probably going to like this. So I made a bunch of notes. Just want to make sure I cover everything. That's just how I roll. So just remember, and I think we all know this. So the first one is, and like I know that we all know this, logically, but it just hadn't hit us. But once they turn 18, everything changes. There's no more automatic access to medical, financial, or educational info, depending on where you live. Now, most of the stuff, now y'all know I'm not an attorney and I'm not whatever, financial planner and all those things. I'm just a dad, raising an autistic adult. I mean, that's it. But these are just things that I recognize. So, all that changes literally overnight. Now, the good news is, or at least my personal experience was like at the doctor's office, for example, they didn't really say anything. I mean, they know the situation. They've been going there forever. I'm sure they would like to have a copy of the conservatorship or something, and they'll probably ask for it at some point, but they haven't yet. So, is it that big a deal? You need to stress about it? Probably not, but you do realize it's coming. I mean, is going to happen. So I had to go open up a bank account, and I'll talk about this in just a minute, but I had to open up a bank account, and, you have to have paperwork for that, because when he's 18, you can't just do it. So that's how it works. There's the second thing is that there's no welcome packet, like welcome to the world of, of raising your autistic adult, here's what you do. It just, I mean, not that we're really expecting that, but it almost seems like there should be something out there along those lines to really kind of help prepare us better. Nobody calls to help. It's not like that. Nobody from the state. So you've really got to plan ahead. And if you don't, you're gonna be left scrambling. That's just how it'll go. So number 3 is school might not end yet, but it might. So it depends on where you live and everything. So if you have an IEP or whatever, I'm sure that you do or did anyway, they may qualify for services up to, in my case, the year of my son's 22nd birthday. So he's going to stay in school until then. But don't assume, that after 18 it's over. You probably know this stuff. But if you didn't, here it is, okay? And then the next thing is number 4 is services don't just appear. And I think we do all know this. So, SSI, Medicaid, voc rehab, all those things, you have to apply and prove eligibility all over again. So I want to expand on that just a little bit. So from a Social Security standpoint, here in Tennessee, it took about 9 months to get all that squared away. And I'll talk about this in more detail in future episodes and stuff, because I want to go over how to get the maximum possible benefit, or at least how I did and what I did. And I was actually told by an attorney a couple things that really helped me, because in the beginning he didn't get the full amount, which is like, in the beginning, he got like $650 or something like that instead of the full $967 or whatever it is. And even though, it wasn't extremely detrimental to us at the time, it was a bummer, because we wanted to make sure that, because, we were taking care of that and that kind of thing. So I had to go back and do a couple of things. So I'll talk about that on another episode. But the one thing I had to have ready was a conservatorship. And so this is number 5. So, in some places you kind of get a guardianship or you get a conservatorship. In Tennessee, you have to have a conservatorship, because in order to do anything financial, that's what you got to have. So I had to have that ready. So when I went to the bank, what I was talking about earlier, that they would open up a bank account. And that was not the easiest process I've ever been through. I mean, I had to send it. Their legal team has to, do whatever it is they have to do with it. I don't know what that is. And then sign off on it. And then once they do that, then you can, have the account and whatever. But it wasn't easy. But here, just so you know, the conservatorship part was before his 18th birthday. I had talked to the attorney. I talked to a couple of attorneys actually, and I'm going to cover this in more detail in different episodes. But I had talked to a couple of different attorneys, and they had told me a couple of different things about the way to do it. Because with me and my son's mom, we're divorced, but we have a great relationship, so there's never been any problem there. But there was just a couple of things about that we had to get figured out, and so I went ahead and got the ball rolling. I want to say it was about a month or so ahead of time. Now, I will tell you that where I live in Tennessee, in Knoxville, the process was fairly smooth, and I got the indication that if we lived in a much bigger city, I mean, it's not small, but it's not huge. But if we lived in a really big city, this would have been a lot harder to get done. So, or just taken a lot longer. But for us, it took about a month or so to get everything squared away, medical records and all these other things. But that's one of the things you have to be prepared for. And I didn't realize that until it was getting really close to time, and it kind of scared me. I was like, oh my gosh, all this to do. Well, I don't want you to worry about it, right? If if you're at that point or whatever, don't. Just breathe. Deal with it one at a time. That's all you can do. And it'll get done. Everything will work out. Just take it one step at a time. All right. I hope that this was helpful, at least in some respects. And if you like this kind of content, please subscribe, because I'm going to be producing a lot more of it, and I really want to give you what you want. So please do that. If also you're having a challenge, planning for what happens after you're gone, you can get the After Us guide. There's a link below. Check that out and see if it's something that might be helpful to you and your family. It really was for me. And that's it. All right. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Talk to you soon.